Hey there, I am JP and welcome at a Minecraft building series, which if you guys like the idea and support this series, it might grow out into a roleplay slash building server so we can play together. I'll be explaining more about this idea along the way of these building series. Alright, I kinda have an idea of what I would like to do in this series. I want to make like cute little builds. So we're gonna create a new world and I'm gonna call this world Islandia because I love islands. Now for the server though, we will be playing it on survival mode and easy mode because this will allow us to grind stuff, set up shop, companies and do some role playing. With creative that wouldn't be possible because everyone already have everything. But for this building series I'm going to put it on creative and I'm going to keep it on easy because, you know, maybe we can do something with these mobsters. Another thing that I am going to do in this case is I'm going to use some cheats, or at least one cheat, and that is always daytime, because if I'm going to put down a bed and sleep until daytime, why don't you just put it on daytime? If you want to have some mobsters, you just need to make it dark, which is very simple in this game. Now comes one of the most difficult things. What are we going to do map wise? Well, I have been checking out the templates because I was kind of wondering, could we make a flat world with a little layer of water? Apparently this is not possible in the Bedrock edition. It is possible in the Java edition, which quite a little bit of a shame though. But in this case we have survival island. This is something that I'm looking for, so we can make tiny, cute little builds. So let's click on this guy. You can copy it here, even though, if you play Java, you can just get this one and see if we get the same. All right. Now let's create this map and see how it looks like besides the little island. All right. So I have played Minecraft now and then throughout the years. The first time I played Minecraft was way back in the days when it was actually beta. With my brother, he bought it for me, and mostly I have been doing some building stuff and never really got into the storyline or to the Ender Dragon, if what it's called. So who knows, I can do a survival story, but might need to be done on a different channel though, since this is a building channel. All right, I see what looks like a large island, maybe, I hope, over there. So far, so good. So here we could be eventually build a bigger project, which is very nice. But for now, we're going to start off with the smaller one right over there. And yes, I am playing this on classical graphics. I have been trying RTX. It looks amazing, it looks stunning. Only the render distance is not as great as what we have right now. So that is my whole reason why I'm playing it with this classical graphics. Alright, so what I would like to do is make a bit of a Death Star out of this island. Basically, we're gonna fill it up with small, cute little builds. I am kind of looking for something not completely sci-fi, also not completely apocalyptic, but something universal type of deal. Which is also something that I would like to see on the server. We're not going to do a specific team. We're just going to do whatever we would like to do, right? So everyone got the freedom to create whatever he or she likes to do. All right, so let me just clean up all of the trees down here. What is up with all this rain in all of these games? I cannot even light my forest on fire. It was burning pretty well actually, and it cleaned up so far, so good. Now, I just wanted to say, if you guys have any building tips or tricks, you can let me know down below in the comment section, or if you got a Minecraft world, fill it up with beautiful ideas. You can also send a screenshot to my Discord. The Discord link is in the description. I got a screenshot channel, so just drop it down there and I will have a look at it. And having a look at other people's work is something that I really love to do a lot, especially already in islands. I just like to, if I get invited to just take a little look around to see what, people all can come up with. And even though certain things in games are limited, people somehow, some way always find a new way to be creative with certain bits and pieces, and I think it's amazing. So definitely drop down those screenshots. Alright, and so the island has completely cleaned up, and in this case I just went around in circles and I tried to visualize what I can do with this area. I just tried to take small little spots and think about what project can I place down there. Now there are actually two spots which some project came into my mind, and like I was saying, I want to make a Death Star out of this. Slash is I want to create something sci-fi, not too apocalyptic. I want to create something into the sky. This is going to need to be a very messy but very detailed type of build, and of course I'm not going to build it all at once, but two of the ideas are actually on this side. Now this spot right down here kind of looks like a little bit that I need to use the edge down here and make this into water. Now it might sound a little bit crazy, but I'm thinking about something with little marketplace onto the water with a couple of docks and small little boats, and going to need to be a bit of a, let's say, a trading area. I think it would be a very cool idea. Another thing that I've been thinking about, and you just need to add a little bit of fantasy here and there, is I wanted to make a very big sewage pipe. Now, the sewage pipe, I have an idea what I would like to do here. Now, this whole region down here is going to be a bit of a trading area, which I had in mind to create a big sewage pipe from this area right down here, which goes above the whole trading area and then comes out somewhere around here, and it drops all of the sewage water into the ocean. And yes, I know it is very disgusting, but you know, this island, if it's populated, it will create all kinds of waste which will end up in the ocean anyway. So I thought, why not just create one big pipe? And another idea I kind of visualize for this place is something cyberpunk-ish. In cyberpunk you have like these gigantic large buildings which basically on each side where you look at, it looks kind of different. And there is also such a theme in Lego, I believe it was called Monkey Kid, where you have these crazy builds on top of builds on top of builds, and it just gives this very cool effect. So I want to start out with this sewage pipe, and we're going to slowly but surely just terraform this whole island into something crazy. Yes, I used the bed. I thought maybe if I plop it down it can make the rain stop. In this case, it did not. Now, from what I have seen, the best way to be creative is to combine certain shapes, bits and pieces, and all that good stuff. So, from what I've understood, this could be like a very dirted up piece of a starting point of a pole, while this is like the normal metal of the pole, and then some part is like a little bit overgrown, and then a part up there is like still being a little bit like clean. And on this way you create better things, rather than, you know, if you want to have a pole that you're going to build the stuff out of one piece like that. And this is a very challenging thing in Minecraft, to just combine all kinds of shaders and textures into, you know, something that works out. Now, of course, there is one more thing that I do want to say, and if there will be people watching that do not own Minecraft but that just enjoy the series and they somehow feel tickled for the future, that, you know, maybe it would be fun to play in the server together, I might do some giveaways depending on how things go onto this channel. Which also, long story short, I'm going to need to have YouTube revenue. I'm going to need to have this payment turn on and have advertisement. And for that, I'm going to need to have at least 1,000 subscribers for that. So it's going to take a little while. And, you know, if I can pay for a server, it's going to be very nice. If I can pay for another server, absolutely lovely. But if I can do some giveaways, you know, to give people who don't have this game a chance to join up. Excuse me. Yes, thank you. I know it's your island and your ancestors been living here for 1,000 years, but let me just do a talk with my viewers, okay? So yes, then I can do some giveaway and, you know, maybe make some of you happy with that. But you will see that all into the future, because it's all going to depend on if you guys enjoy this series and if you guys really would love to. Now, of course, starting out somewhere is going to be one of the most difficult things. Like, what are we going to do and how we're going to start, and should I just do everything immediately? Well, I don't think I should be doing that, which I basically talk about. I want to have like a little marketplace down here, which will be looking a bit different than that one, which I'm talking about. Should I already make the ground down here? Should I already plop down some buildings and whatnot? I think I shouldn't be doing that. I should, you know, just been building a pillar down here, and I should let myself lead by the environment. So in this case, I am going to get this idea of what I had before, you know, a muddy type of pole. And maybe not even aim it out, just do something different here and there, right? All kinds of reasons for that. Now, another thing would also be very nice if we don't have even out spots. So this is even out. What I mean by that is it would be nice if this was like a 5 or a 3 in this case. I'm just going to get rid of this one and then put that one down. In this case, for whatever reason in the future, this is going to be super overgrown. I don't know why, but we're going to see that in the future, why that's going to be overgrown. And it's going to need to be high up like that. I got this vision of buildings that just barely fit underneath, have some open spots where we can just, you know, walk through. And I'm just going to see how this looks like with one extra, because we're also going to need to support this pipe. And, you know, maybe the support actually needs to be already starting out right down here. This is a piece that is still looking good. Here, a piece that looks going down for a bit. A piece that looks nice. Alright, I think for now this will do the job. Coming up next is, of course, the pipe itself. And I'm going to need to keep in mind to do a little bit the same things. I'm going to need to grab all of the same bits and pieces that I got from before. Which I do have to say, so far, it's a little bit of a shame that there is no mossy smooth stone to say, or mossy normal stone. I'm really going to have to do with what the game has for me. The next thing I'm going to figure out is how big am I going to make the pipe. Now, I did somewhere in the past found a website where you can actually calculate the ring, and I think it's going to be very handy to do that right now. Which in this case, I'm talking about this website called Donut Studios. I will have the link in the description, but this is a very handy tool down here, which you can just decide for yourself. Of course, that's not going to work, how much of a ring you want to have, and on this way you can actually create a perfect round circle, which is sometimes just super duper handy if you want to, you know, especially create larger circles like this for larger buildings. Which in this case, I want to create something with a 9, because I like to have this at least 3 wide, and this will fit in perfectly with what I want to do. Alright, so in this case, we're going to need to make this into a 5, which is perfect. And on top, we're going to create this guy right down here, do the same on the other side. We have another 2 going like this. And, you know, I like to see if I can create it a little bit messy. So right on top, right down here, we're going to create a couple of normal ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. For a reason, and I just need to see if this is going to look good, right? Because for some reason it just feels a little bit too big. But you know, maybe looking at it afterwards, I think this is kind of a good size. It is just big enough for what I would like to do down here, and of course, you know, I want at least my character to be able to pass through down. Now you're going to see this kind of stuff a lot, which I cannot make up my mind sometimes, so I still made it one smaller, and I made the ring lesser thick, because you got the option to make a thick ring or a thin ring. And the reason why I chosen for a thin ring is because, or else the passage at the bottom here would be a little too less to say. So in this case, in order to still make it look thick, I want to use something else. In this case, I want to use the stairways. Now, some of you might wonder, like, okay, JB, but what is all of this dirty stuff on top? Well, this is rust, and rust goes from the top to the bottom to the top. something like that. I still going to need to see if this is going to look good. It's pretty much an experimental thing for me too. Yeah, that looks completely like a load of horse apples. Alright, after messing around for a little while, I finally got what I had in mind, which is this right down here. Now there is still one little thing that bothers me for a bit, and I just want to see if I can create that with slabs. Now the only problem with slabs is, so far I know, is that they can only be placed flat. So what I, basically mean with that is have one on top like that, just to create that slight extra little roundness on top of it. At least, on top it will work like that. Now for the bottom, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to do so. That's because of the, the structure underneath. But maybe, I'm just gonna take these guys as an example. What I'm trying to say here, maybe underneath put a thing like right down there. Let's give it a little more roundness onto it. You just gotta ignore, that I'm making everything with this mossy cobblestone. But yeah, the sides is going to be a lot more difficult. Cannot do that, which I find a little ashamed that there is no sideways slab type of deal in this game. And another thing that I have also noticed, which is also still not a thing in this game, and that is the fact that you cannot put one slab down for whatever reason you want to have it there, and then have another half just on top of it. It's not joining up together, and it's a shame. I mean, I do understand this whole type of deal, two blocks joined together. These two, they don't have to join together, they just need to be put on top. Now, of course, there are probably some mods that make that happen. Yeah, but with the side, it's a no-go. Now, what maybe I can do, I'm just gonna take a random piece for that. Is half? No, that is no. Nah, no, well, not really. It's not going to work out. It looks, yeah, it looks way too weird having a little gap in there. It might just be a rusty old sewer pipe, but I'm pretty happy with the end result. Now, the thing here is, I thought it would be fun to actually leave out the slabstones here at the edge to give it just a little bit more rounded off type of deal. Also, I have been making the stand for the pipe too wide instead of one, because it looked a little bit, it could crash down any minute. And also, and this is something that I wanted to show you guys, I don't have a little gap right down here, but I do have a little gap right down here. That's because these between in guys are here, but over there I left them out. So I just wanted to show you like the reason why I am doing certain things and why not. Which also in this case, I only have these guys on one side of the little legs. And the reason for that, if I would add something in here, I find it a little, yeah, not really nice. So in this case, there is something that I wonder a lot if it's going to work out, or is it going to be a complete failure. And that is, of course, having some water come out of it. Now in this case, I will have to close this off. I'm not sure if it will even reach all the way over there, but basically let's just drop down a bit of water and see how it looks like. That is actually not too bad at all. Now, of course, having water come out of it is one thing that we could do. Now, another thing that we could do is having some vines or something like greenery stuff come out of it. I also thought, maybe add some seagrass if that will work though, because this might not be high enough for that, which down there it absolutely is. So what I think I should be doing is fill it all the way up like that. That is a thing though. It's only weird how it's a little bit glitchy. So let me see if I can do something else here. I'm going to remove all of the water once again and then re-add it real quick. It's not going to completely fill up, but can I? One down there. I am not going to complain. Now let's add this water back down here before removing a little fence like that. Add a couple of bits and pieces. Yeah, that just adds a tiny bit extra. Now there is one thing I am very much wondering. Can we actually stop vines from growing at a certain height and or... Did it work? I don't think that worked, right? So we can also not place it on here, which is a shame. But we can here. Now, it didn't want to do it here, right? Does it mean it will stop? I mean, just a little extra vine like that would be very nice. And then let's say, you know, 2 down there would be very nice. Of course, there are a lot more spots and places where I can add vines, but then again, will it stop growing at some point? So let's say for an example, no, that's not gonna work. But we could, no, also not, because it is need to be dirt. I see, but could we? Yeah, but because it's a half slab, we can't. Yeah, there are limiteds, and there might be, I just seen it grow, certain ways somehow, some way to still add in certain things to say. What I could be doing is, for an example, take this idea there and just modify the top, and then just act like there is a certain ring also on top. Just have to see if this is going to look correct. You know, that's also another question. I mean, from the side, it looks kind of understandable to say. And maybe what I can also do is just remove these guys. And, well, actually not that guy though. And just make a ring like this around it. And then it's going to be the question, is it going to look good? Or is it a no-go? I almost feel it though. I think what I have to do here, but then we're gonna go again with these non-ploppable areas. Yep. You know, it's actually good that I have these non-ploppable areas, because without them I wouldn't came up with this idea. You know, it kind of looks okay somehow, some way. And now I'm also like, okay, maybe I should be adding it also at the bottom. Which the only problem I'm having here is basically this piece. This piece also needs to be a stairways type of deal. Ah, so you are overgrowing. Okay, so that is one, good to see. Two, I just have to see what I'm going to place at the bottom though for that, in order to make it stop. But yeah, that's actually very nice. And you know what, just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna add one down there. Let it just grow onto the water. It is okay. It's all going to be fine. You know what, not too bad with all of these weeds onto the bottom floor. What are glow lichten? oh I mean, it looks kind of slimy, right? Perfect on that, actually. I'm thinking of it. This might be a nice stopper for that guy. And that guy. Oh, that's perfect. I hope that will work that way. And so I have added a couple more ideas besides adding those 2 outer rings onto the pipe. Now the first idea here is actually that the stone or the concrete or whatever this piece down here is made of is actually broken down, and you see the steel that is within. I thought it was a really nice idea. To be honest, I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do something with the roping. I seen this guy there holding the rope with this creature, and I know that you can put the rope with the creature to a fence. So I was like, can you also put a rope from a fence to fence? No, that doesn't work out. But then, you know, I had to place the fence somewhere at first, so I just placed in here. And then, yeah, this came into my mind to do that with this iron bar. Is that what it's called? Yeah, iron bars. Yeah, so I think that it's a really nice idea. I also got it right down here. Now the plants are just slowly but surely growing, and I've been placing some more of that licht around. However I need to pronounce it. And you can also see there are like small little particles flying around. Well, I have been looking for something for the ceiling. Now, before we get to that, I also have to show you got some barbed wire right down here. Just to fill in the blank, I added a couple of these moss grasses against the ceiling, you know, just to give this a little extra touchy of green here and there. Also, sea cucumbers. You know, why not? Also add a little bit of green to the scenery. And down here, I'm not sure if this is going to grow actually. So far, it didn't do anything. It's okay. But these green particles are coming from this guy. I seen this picture, I typed in ceiling stuff, and I seen something coming off the ceiling which looked like it came from moss block. I'm not sure. You guys know a lot more information about this, you know, let me know. I could only find this guy, so I just thought, you know, I need to put it into the ceiling rather than onto it because it will be visible. I don't want it to really be visible. It's not like we're going to start our episode in here anyways, but you know, I just wanted to hide it a little bit, and from here it's not very much visible, and it gives these little flying particles. Now, of course, there is a lot more stuff that can simply be added to this sewage pipe or stuff to just make it even more incredible, and I'm thinking of it. Oh, how would that be, right? If I use the iron bars for an example, this is going to be something really cool. What if I just do something crazy out here? Just like, bro, what are you doing? Or what are you doing? And just have a piece of the pipe crack like that. I mean, maybe what I should be doing here actually is also take care that it uses the correct stone. You know, like this cobblestone is used a little bit for broken down or tear down type of look. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Just trying to make it look a little bit more logic, a little bit more nicer than that. Oh, that's actually not just too crazy of an idea though. I mean, it's blending in there a lot, but from certain angles you can really see like the greenery and the rust coming through. That's actually cool though. Last minute idea. Of course, if you guys have some more ideas, you can just, you know, let me know in the comment section and I will be willing to add it in. Or maybe you got some other ideas. All of a sudden I'm thinking about pointy dripstones. Like, could we also add in something like this? Like, I don't know, maybe it's some wasted toilet paper hanging against the ceiling that came down while thousands of people are, you know, pooping and peeing, and everything goes to the sewage pipe, ending up in the ocean. You know, I'm starting to get exciting for this whole building series. I hope you guys do too, and then I'm just going to leave it with this and see what we're gonna build next time. It'll be awesome though. Alright, even though I have everything, I am a little bit curious, you know, what do you have, brother? You have moss block, lime dye, dandelion, orange tulip, poppy, and a bucket of pufferfish. Yeah.